Morning all. Is morning or dumsa mar cahirlach an chunte ven siomad in Nugs mar shintamon buchas on chara. As Chairperson of Tipperary County Council, I'm delighted to be here this morning, and I want to thank Con and the Tipperary producers for their kind invite here today. I was just thinking as I was driving here this morning, what a most appropriate venue to hold this first breakfast. Because of course many may not have been here. I have been here before at a wedding, but not actually inside in the building. But roughly about 10 years ago, between 10 and 15 years ago, the Agricultural College closed here. But up to then, of course, many young men and some women came here, of course, just to be educated in all new and modern farming methods. So it's very appropriate that here, when we're talking about produce coming from the land, that we're here in a building that for so many years educated young men and women in terms of productivity and producing produce effectively and efficiently on their land. And I want to thank Rockwell as well for facilitating the producers here today. But of course, here in Tipperary, we're very fortunate that we have such lush land. I have a friend in Cavan, and her father farms, and he always says if only he could transport his land to Tipperary, he reckons he'd be a millionaire. So I don't know whether that's true, but we're very, very fortunate, and oftentimes we forget the important role that food and produce played even in our history. Even if you look around at the different names, even the towns' names and that. This morning I came from Clonmel, Clúnmala, the Vale of Honey, and the very important role that honey played and continues to play, because I know Dennis Ryan is a very strong honey producer there and has been a worldwide honey producer. And indeed, even Carrick na Shura, Carrick on Shore, the rock of the water, again, the important role the water played with respect to, in the olden days, again, gathering fish for them. So all around us, we have remnants in our own county and in every county with respect to the important role of food and drink in our surroundings. And this morning, it's great as well to welcome Kevin Thornton, one of our own homegrown, a Tipperary man, and of course, running his own business for 26 years. But as Chair of Tipperary County Council, we're delighted as well to be associated with this morning and with the network producers. And indeed, we have developed a strategy for this niche sector. And just some of the key objectives for the strategy between 2015 and 2021 to generate greater economic activity for the county, to grow and develop sustainable jobs, to capitalise on the worldwide recognition of our brand name, to build on the natural resources of the county, the best in the land, will be biased, and develop a green, sustainable economy. So this is all hugely important, and in a fortnight's time I'll be travelling with the manager to New York, and every year the Cllr goes to a city in America, and we have already set up meetings between various bodies there, like Fault Ireland over there, Enterprise Ireland, the IDA, and we'll be meeting with a number of businesses. And that's what it's all about. It's all about making contacts over there whereby it'll help and develop industries over here. And obviously here this morning, I'll be very keenly aware of that as well in our deliberations in New York. Also, we have to recognise the value of food to the Irish economy at a national level and the growth of it. Over 24 billion is generated annually from the food sector. It accounts for almost 10% of Irish exports. It provides 7.7% of national employment. However, when processing and marketing are added into the equation, it correlates to over 10% of the national employment. And it involves over 7,000 farmers here in this county. I also want to recognise, and I see her down there, our Director of Services in the whole economic area, Sinead Carr, is here today, and I want to recognise her as well and the input that she has put into this strategy. The Local Enterprise Office have played a huge role as well, and I know Geraldine and Mairead are here. Rita sends her apologies. And I also want to recognise Una, who will be talking lately with respect to the tourism. But the local enterprise have played a huge role in supporting, I know, the producers here this morning. And it provides both financial and mentoring support to the network and has done since 2014. And this year I know Kerry-Ann I know she goes as Lorden, but I'll always know her as Harney. And indeed, Claire, ably assisted by Claire and Maggie. So well done, ladies. And they're assisting the network this year in the implementation of their very ambitious plans and activity. And I just want to pay huge tribute again. I mean, I suppose Con was outlining there some of the activities, and it's important to remember that the Tipperary Food Producers Network is still relatively new, and just to look at how far they've come, and again with the book in the offing as well, that there's a huge amount being done in the background. And it's always worth remembering with these bodies, whatever organisations it is, people also have daytime jobs. You know, this is all extracurricular. So just to compliment them in the extent of the work that they're doing, and the Food Centre of Excellence, which of course the Council will be delighted to support you in pursuing in a further matter. I just also want to very briefly talk about the whole area, of course, tourism. And I said Una will be going into this after me in more detail. But just to acknowledge Marie Phelan, our tourism officer, is here as well, and the important role that tourism plays with respect to the hospitality sector. And Tipperary County Council have adopted a new strategic tourism marketing and experience destination development plan for 2016-2021 for County Tipperary. And this is the first time in the history that we have an all-county strategy, because of course prior to 2014 we were two separate entities, North Tip and South Tip. And it is by large an undiscovered heartland of Ireland. It's very easy to access, offering real authentic high quality visitor experiences, so we want to make sure that that message rings clear. And Tipperary Tourism and Tipperary County Council, they'll be key leaders in the implementation of this plan. And the support and engagement of the tourism trade in this county is also vital for success. So indeed it's very interesting time, but it's also wonderful to hear in very recent times that Bulmer's Showerings, many of you will know, have announced that we have been for many years, the council, requesting that they would look at the whole area of opening a visitor centre in Clonmel in Dowd's Lane, down beside the Friary. And we would hope to grow it similar to I suppose the ideal would be the Guinness Storehouse. The Guinness Storehouse continues to be the most visited visitor attraction here in Ireland, but they have agreed to look at developing a tourism venue there, a visitor centre. So that would be obviously huge to all the hospitality sector as well, if we could look at that. May I also suggest, if I may be so bold, this year as Cllr, I'm very anxious to sell the message clear with respect to local produce and that. And you know, when I have different visitors coming for receptions, you know, there's no actually, I know Con has been very good in facilitating us with the hamper of his juices, but it might be something that you might also look at as Tipperary producers, because at national level you can ring a line and you can get produce that you can send abroad and that. But there are so many producers now in Tipperary that it should be something that within Tipperary we're looking at, that somebody can ring somebody and a hamper of all Tipperary produce can be put together, because that means so much to people when they get a product like that, a hamper with all Tipperary produce in it. So it may be something that alongside, when you're finished your book and when you're finished your centre, that you might put on your to-do list. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to delay. I'm delighted to be here today. Tipperary County Council continues to be hugely supportive of the Tipperary food producers, all their initiatives and endeavours, and it just behoves me to say that I just like to wish Tipperary food producers continued success for the future. Good evening, Mahakwiv.